perfect.
You can hear me now?
Yes, I see
Okay.
you perfect.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. I am so excited to be here with you all today. My name is Sarah Kiah Morton. I'm the CEO and co-founder of LOCKGREEN Stash Boxes, as was mentioned. Um, my company is a mission-driven company that uses the smell-proof stash boxes along with community education to help prevent cannabis law violations. And I've been doing education in Virginia around cannabis laws since 2018. And I have been traveling the country for the last 5 years promoting my company, of course, but also talking about the importance of knowing your laws and education around the laws. Like I said, for the last 5 years. And because of that experience, I really came across this gap of legal literacy and what we can do in the community to really impact that and really impact people's lives. So my presentation right in front of you, legal does not mean clear. Why legalization requires legal literacy. I laugh because it was so many L's in that. There's so much alliteration, but it's really exactly what it is that I want to talk about. And I really just want to start with a simple overview of what I'm getting ready to discuss. Legalization is the doorway, right? And legal literacy is the map. If we're only opening the door and just letting everyone run through and thinking everything is peachy cream and perfect now, sometimes even with legalization, we don't like how the law looks at the first round. It needs a second round and third round. We have to help people understand what the law says at that moment, so that we all are kept safe. Those of us who choose to consume cannabis, of course. Okay, so let's see here. For me, there we go. For many years, I'm sure many of us on this call, many of these presenters, we have been fighting for legalization, decriminalization, medical access, adult use access, expungement, etc. All these things, and we should be proud of this map. Now, this map says cannabis legalization, it happens in over 75% of this country. I've done this presentation so much, this number has gone from like 70, 75, 80. It's way above 75, but I just keep it at 75. Just that's the catch all at this point because I've changed the slide so many times. But what does that mean? That means so much progress, so much change, right? With these laws. And this map changes this as well. Some states, it's legal for medical and recreational. Some states, it's only legal for medical, right? So we should be proud of all of the progress that comes along with this. But just as I sort of hinted to before, because there is progress does not mean that it's just we can do whatever we want to according to what the law says. And I'm here to tell you about what the law says and help you with that because I want you to be protected. That doesn't mean I agree 100% with everything. That means I want you to be protected. Before I go on, I want to say I am not an attorney. Anything that I say is not legal advice. I am just, like I said, a concerned citizen who is passionate about people being able to consume how they want to, when they want to, and safely. Okay. All right, so we should be proud of this, right? We should be proud. But if you've been involved in the legal, the whole push for cannabis legalization, you know that some things happen in this process. Many times, if not all the time, politicians don't even know anything about cannabis at all, right? So, and they're the ones making the laws, right? Also, sometimes laws are written, a group of laws are written to be put out at the same time, but only some come out and then the other ones come out later. That causes confusion. And that happened in Virginia. You'll hear me mention Virginia a few times because I'm based in Virginia. So I'm going to use our state and our laws as examples, but that's one that happens. There's states that are making laws for medical and recreational. Sometimes recreational is called adult use. So you have different terminologies. It's called marijuana versus cannabis versus hemp derived. All these things that I'm mentioning are variations that vary per state, sometimes per locality, and it can cause confusion when the laws come out, right? So That is where a lot of this issue is happening, right? Progress is great, but when it's confusing, where does that leave our community? How exposed does that leave us? What I've done here is I've taken some screenshots. These are actual articles from across the country that are talking about these issues. If you haven't experienced them yourself, trust me, they're out there. All right. So, I mean, even here, like in Texas, the medical marijuana laws are confusing, right? Sometimes it's not just us as consumers who are confused. Sometimes the police are confused too. The police don't understand the laws as they change, especially when it comes to traffic incidents. That's something I'm going to talk about in a second. But when the laws are confusing, we are exposed as consumers. Okay. The other issue is a lot of people don't know their state specifics. And this can be for many reasons. It might be because they don't care to know. And that's not necessarily the group that I target and work with the most. I do target them. I want to help them. But if they're not interested in knowing and protecting themselves, you know, I can't help too much there. But if you are interested in knowing, then the confusing part comes in. How can we help ease the confusion, right? So, what's really important to understand when people are trying to understand their state laws is knowing specifics like where is cannabis legal? Is it legal only for me to consume in my home? Is it legal publicly? Usually it's not. Is it legal for me to consume in certain areas or not in certain areas, like within a certain perimeter of schools, churches, et cetera, et cetera? For whom is it legal? For whom? Is it just for patients? Is it only for people with certain medical conditions? Different states have those requirements as well. Under what conditions is it legal? And also, if you get it wrong, what are the penalties? Some things have, a misdemeanor, some can be felonies. All of these details we need to know. Okay, we need to know these things. Now, when we do not know, when our communities do not know, the consequences are huge. Here, there was a 2022 FBI report that said, statistics, I didn't make this up, despite legalization, more people are still arrested for cannabis possession than for any other drug. Now, that was 2022, that was 4 years ago. But there were a lot of states that were legal by then, and that statistic was still true. That shows where the problem is. We need to keep educating, we need to keep pushing. I, as a Black woman who owns a company, I'm very aware that the statistics will also tell us Blacks are 4 times more likely to be arrested for cannabis possessions than whites. Okay, that is something that we need to be aware of in our communities, especially in our minority communities. Education, important. Traffic stops. Anybody on this call who has been arrested, I'm sorry, not arrested, who has been pulled over for a traffic stop knows how stressful that situation is by itself. I'm not even talking about when you having anything in your car, but imagine how stressful that is. And some people may have experienced it, being pulled over for a traffic stop with cannabis in your car. That moment is not the time to think, oh gosh, where is my weed? What type of container should it be in? Where does the law say it needs to be in my car? Oh my gosh, that's not the time. It's having the education and knowledge before then. Because that situation, that traffic stop can have huge consequences. What are the consequences? Housing, barriers to housing, barriers to employment, getting student loans, child custody, public benefits, licensing, etc. The consequences are huge. Okay, so just a quick background about why I started LOCKGREEN and how that ties into this whole topic. My husband and I started LOCKGREEN in 2021. This is our 5-year anniversary. And he had a cannabis conviction in college. So as we're a young couple with a young family, he was changing jobs at one point, and this cannabis conviction came up, and he was switching to another one that came up again. Now, it didn't matter. We went to the University of Virginia, which was at that time, #1 public school in the nation. He played football. He did all these things and wonderful things in school. It didn't matter because that conviction kept coming up, right? So we started LOCKGREEN as a way to help prevent people from experiencing this right here, the consequences of having a cannabis conviction. And one way we did it is by having our stash boxes locking and smell proof, because it protects when you're in a car and traveling across all states. It protects keeping kids out of your stash. But also it helps prevent that law violation, because this is something so simple and a way to protect yourself. Okay. So that's a little background about us, but I want to jump in. Oh, this talks about that. I want to jump into a few real life examples to show you why this is so important. Okay. In the time that I have left. I told you I'm going to use Virginia as an example. It's a perfect example. We live here, right? Virginia's open container laws are so confusing. And you can see it right here. You don't have to believe me. You can read it right here in front of you. Okay. So an open container is any vessel that has marijuana, except for those in an originally sealed manufacturer's container. So what does that mean? Anything other than that originally sealed manufacturer's container is illegal to travel in a car with. But guess what? In Virginia, we don't even have a legal retail market. So where are we going to get an originally sealed manufacturer's container from, right? We do have a legal medical market, so they can go into a medical dispensary, walk out with an original sealed manufacturer's container. But what happens when they open it? Because they have to use their medicine, right? What happens then? And they have to travel with their medicine. The state also has legal home grow. So what happens when you grow your own cannabis and you are traveling with it? We also have legal adult sharing. What happens if I want to give some to my friend and travel with it in my car? You see, there's really some unclarity there that can really put us at huge exposure. So this is where education is so important. Educating about how to still protect yourself, even though this is cloudy. The best way to do it, lock it up and put it in your trunk. That is the best way to do it. Lock it up and put it in your trunk. And I go into detail about that when I educate. Another quick example. I mentioned adult sharing. This is a term that is in several states' code laws for cannabis. Not all, but this is basically saying that I can share my cannabis with you as long as there's no, I wrote this word down because I always mess it up. Remuneration. You see that word? I mess it up all the time. Remuneration, which means I can't trade a good or a service for it. If I give it to you, it's okay. So people hear this law, and I hear it all the time. Oh, but I can share it with you, or I can give you something. I can sell you a sticker and give you something with it. Or I can cut my grass and I'll give you something, right? I'll share with you, right? All of those scenarios that I just mentioned, illegal. And we can pull up cases of it all the time if you Google it, of people who have gotten messed up with that confusion. So important to educate people about that. Here's another one. I get the question all the time. Oh, I love this stash box. It's lock and smell proof. Can I take it on a plane? And my answer always is to people, my attorney said that I cannot advise anyone to travel with cannabis in a federal space. Okay. This is an example of a federal and local situation. This happened last year, a year ago, July 28th, 2025. Someone was publicly consuming cannabis in DC, but they were on federal land. And now they don't just have a case that, first of all, public consumption in DC is illegal anywhere. Okay. But someone may be willing to take that chance. They might be willing to take that chance, but a federal charge for it, that's a bigger thing, right? So this is something that, they may have not made that choice if they would have been aware of federal versus local or state spaces. Federal spaces also include, people don't know this, they might think of airports. Airport is a federal space. Trains, post offices, and any government building, federal spaces, federal charges. Important to know as you choose to consume, use, carry cannabis if you so choose to do so. Okay. So my solution and what I charge this community to do is to educate. These are just pictures of me doing it across the country as examples. Many times we see states have different agencies within that are charged with educating the public. And we've all seen it. Sometimes information is incorrect that they put out. Sometimes information is skewed for some reason. And then they begin to not trust the source. I charge all of us on this call who have an expertise, who are good at educating, who know the laws, to really go out and educate our communities. It's a way of showing love. It's a way of helping protect us and those of us who choose to consume from getting in trouble, getting cannabis law violations, which have huge consequences at the end of the day. Okay, that is my charge. I will open up the rest I think I have 2 more minutes, leadership. I think I have 2 more minutes. I will open it up for questions. But before I do that, I will show you how to connect with me. These are just some features that we've had. Here it is, my website and my phone number, email address, and please follow us on Instagram. Do we have any questions? Please help me, leaders, because I cannot see questions, or maybe stop sharing.
In progress. Okay, I'm looking at the chat for you right now.
Okay, thank you.
We have no open questions right now. Actually, you have a couple more minutes if there's something you may want to, another 3 minutes, maybe even 3 minutes, right? You're done at 1:30?
1:25.
Oh, you're scheduled for 1:25.
Well,
Okay.
I was scheduled for 1:00, so I had 1:25. But I mean,
you have 1:25.
Yeah,
you can take
I
a
can
couple
share
more minutes.
something.
Go for it. Yeah. Go for it.
Okay, so let me go back to share my screen really quickly because this is important to me. It's passionate, very passionate, and I prove there we go. I prove what I'm saying by the example that I lead, right? So I mentioned that LOCKGREEN was founded in 2021. So this month in July of 2021, it was founded in conjunction with Virginia becoming the first state in the South to legalize adult use cannabis. I'm trying to go to the next screen. There we go. So this month, we're doing a lot of things to celebrate that. One of which is this presentation aligned perfectly with our 5-year anniversary. And I'm so happy to be able to speak during this event. So thank y'all for having me. But coming up, DJ Envy from the Breakfast Club is having a Drive Your Dreams car show on July 25th. This is in Hampton, Virginia. If you all listen to the Breakfast Club, he talks about it every single morning and he invites people from all over to come. So if this is something that you would like to do, come on down. But I am one of the sponsors of that event. And I'm so proud. You see a LOCKGREEN. I feel like we're like the small fish that's growing bigger every day, but you see our name along with huge names down there at the bottom, Monster, the big radio stations, the car dealership, all these companies. So I'm proud of that. But we're going to be talking about the importance of traveling safe with your cannabis in your car, talking to the community about the importance of locking it up, cannabis up, and putting it in your trunk, especially in Virginia. There's a lot of change happening right now in Virginia cannabis law. Secondly, I'm going to be hosting an event on July 30th with Armentia, Latanya Warren, who's actually one of the speakers who's going to be coming up this afternoon. We're having a community education where we are aligning with some big players in Virginia cannabis legalization, and going to be educating the community about what is important, what they need to know, and how to prepare those who want to get into the industry. So I want to invite everyone on this call, if you're able to make it. These are 2 in-person events, but also just to follow me on Instagram and follow us and stay tuned to all the things that we have coming up and join us. We would love to collaborate when those opportunities exist.
Thank you so much. I just shared it on my I just shared it on my stories.
Yes, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And if you have any interest in the state of Virginia, like there's payroll companies, or there's consulting companies or anything, we are offering sponsorships and partnerships for that event on the 30th. So reach out to me at the contact information that was provided or on Instagram. We love to collaborate for the power and empowerment of the community.
Thank you so much, Sarah. We learned so much from you today, especially me. Sometimes I don't even think about that, about where I consume at, especially when I'm on vacation. I was in
Mhm.
Richmond, Virginia not too long ago,
Yes.
and I was openly, dabbing in front of the hotel. You know what I mean? Yeah, but I wish I had seen this conference before that because I would have at least taken the time to Google and figure out, make sure I was in a safe. All they told me was, "Oh, weed is legal here." So I simply assumed I could just, but you're right. If we don't know, we could find ourselves in a bad situation, especially us moms. We
Yes,
already dealing with so much, you know what I mean? So
that is a perfect point. That's a perfect point. And I'll say this because I know I'm in the last minute or so, but you proved my point exactly. People were like, "Oh, it's legal, you're good." And I want people to be excited about that. But I feel like I'm the mom that's like, come back, get the details. Like, what I mean? I am a mom, but come on, let's get these details. Yes, it's legal, but where can you be? Like you said, yes, it's legal, but you can still get in trouble for cannabis with legal cannabis laws. Let me show you the detail of it. Or let me show you how to empower yourself and look at your state's website and look up where, how many, how much, who does it apply to? These are the details that we need to know. It's so important.